I mean, obviously, Kalen Mack is the star for that team, but I mean, Kalen Wade is right there behind him. I think you've got good pieces. And Kings Mountain, like Kevin said, I mean, once they get rolling and once they get comfortable, they're just going to be tough to stop because they can do so many different things.
Well, and we had one play last night when Kings Mountain went up 14-0, and then number 22 from Newton, was it Armstrong?
Wilfong.
Wilfong, yeah. That kid run for about 60,
Yeah.
65 yards.
Yeah, no problem.
And it was one of them things when I was asked, hey, what do you think? I think it's one of them things that you were dominating. And, you kind of just took a little
you got comfortable.
You
got comfortable.
It happens in every level, high school, college,
and then all of a
professional.
sudden this kid's gone, and one of them had to run him down, to catch him down around the 12, 13-yard line.
Yeah.
But, and if you don't think the coaches are involved in this game,
Coach Lloyd,
Greg Lloyd was in to play. We're still in the first half.
I mean, that was 5 minutes into the game, and he was already.
Right. He was irate.
It was a hard count.
I was right there.
I was over.
Yeah.
He thought he had 3 or 4 guys.
I was right there for one of those plays, and he specifically said, because we heard him the first time, he said he wanted to decline the penalty.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the referees, they must have not heard him. They acted like he accepted it, and he came down there raising Kane, screaming, "I declined that penalty." He was hot, man. He was hot, and I'm sitting there thinking, this is an exhibition game.
He doesn't know that.
That's exactly.
He doesn't know that.
I know he don't know, and they always say practice like you play. He's obviously practicing for when it's ready to get in that regular season. But that game, I was really impressed with both defenses. But Newton Conover, I just noticed their run game, they were leaning heavily on it. I know that they lost Stinson from last year, who was a good 70% of that offense, if not 75 to 80%. But the running back, he had some fumble issues. There were a lot of fumbles in that game. Of course, they retained it. Like, they weren't lost fumbles. But that's probably something that they'll work on at Newton. But I was also impressed, really, with Kings Mountain. Really was.
Yeah, and it's one of them things people talk about Newton Conover, and you talk about losing players.
Yes.
Jamal Baker, he's went on to Mallard Creek now, and when you start having kids that transfer somewhere or move somewhere else, and then Coach Pack's coming in, and he's having to these guys are learning a whole new system. Under him than what it was under Coach Beam. I noticed there was a few wide receivers that are not on this team that were on this team from last year. So, everybody's learning new up there. When I put them in this conference, and I think this South Fork again is going to be one of them conferences. We know Lincoln is not going to be bad. East Lincoln's not going to be bad. West Lincoln's in the view this year.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of people back, and they're going to be able to compete. Maiden, I have not seen them this year. I want to see them. I know because they're pretty competitive year after year. Newton Conover, I do not know what Bandy's has.
I don't know either because I don't know what kind of offense they're going to run since Trent left.
Yeah, and then when you speak of North Lincoln with Nick Basil down there, I know that whole offense now has changed from what it was run under Coach Pack. So, this is going to be another wide-open conference here to see who can come out on top. And I don't get me wrong, I'm from West Lincoln, and I love them guys over there. I love the coaches. They do a great job. A lot of times they get beat on the pass, and if another team has a lot of speed.
Yeah.
But running the ball, hey, they've got 2 running backs back there. One of them had 1,400, the other had 1,300 yards. And they kind of remind me of Mac, especially a Brendan Eicher. Once he gets to the outside, he's gone. I mean, it's going to be hard to run him down.
Right.
But, it should be a top-notch conference to watch this year just from my end.
I think the conference as a whole just has one huge question mark over every team. You never know what you're going to get with any of these teams because a lot of these teams, like you said, I mean, there's been so many changes. Not only that, but you lose all the key players that were there last year. Like you said, you don't know what Maiden's going to have.
Yeah.
Newton's got a completely new coach. North Lincoln's got a new coach. Different skill players, like you said. There's just a big question mark over this conference.
All right, guys, let's do our top 20 on the board going into the season. This is not a vote. This is not an opinion. Don't call me and tell me we don't know what we're talking about, or
I'll do that
which we don't. But just don't call us and tell us that. If you don't waste your time and my time. But anyway,
and do not forget, the Jamboree does not count on this.
Jamboree does not count on this poll. We old boykins. If you're wanting to somehow get crest in front of the Yellow Jackets, it ain't going to happen. All right, now, to explain the poll, it is record, then PowerPoints, defensive points allowed. And then, do we have another tiebreaker after that? Head-to-head, I guess. Head-to-head. If head-to-head breaks. If it's a two-way tie, head-to-head breaks all the ties. Now, what we've got here is if you win a 1A game, you get 1 point, a 2A game, 2, a 3A, 3, and a 4A, 4. That's easy. But a little bit reversed on the other way, what happens when you lose? When you lose a 4A game, you don't lose any points. Okay, you don't lose a point. You just get 0 points. You lose a 3A, you lose 1. Lose a 2A, you lose 2. And you lose a 3A, you lose 3 points. So the easiest way to remember is for the 2A, folks. No matter what, if you win, you get 2. If you lose, you get 2. Then you go up and down from there. If you can't remember how the poll works. So here's how the poll has failed last year. Now, once the regular season's over, everyone who didn't make the playoffs is eliminated from the poll, and they stay where they stay in the standings. So ended up out of the poll last year, did not make the playoffs. Forest, Viaris, Central, Burns, North Gaston, North Lincoln, East Gaston, Chase, Pine Lake Prep, Lake Norman Charter, and Highland Tech. Highland Tech went from first in our poll.
Yeah, they did. They were 2-0 last year.
They went from first in our poll. After 2 weeks, Highland Tech was first in our poll, and they ended up dead last. Football. It was all down the hill after the first 2 weeks.
But I was very proud.
That's like a baseball score.
Because at the very start, I mean, had us mentioning Highland Tech.
And that's
good.
What you want.
That's really good. Yeah.
And they're not going to have a chance for that this year because they got bye week the first 2 weeks, so they can't win any of the games now. Depending on how it works out, they still may be ahead of some of these teams if they win that in week 3. But
if you don't play, you can't lose.
That's true too.
And you cannot fall to last.
Exactly.
You can't. You won't be last. So they will be after week 1 somewhere around 15th or 20th, and then after week 2 they'll be around 20th. But anyway. So that's how the poll kind of works. Let's do our top 20. Made the playoffs last year. Now, once you get eliminated from the playoffs, you're kicked out of the poll, and you have to stay right there. And then you go by levels. So if you go further in the playoffs, no matter if you got less points than that team behind you, you go ahead of them. So this is how it ended last year, guys. We had at 20 Cherryville, 19 West Lincoln, 18 Bandies, 17 Community School of Davidson, 16 Union Academy Cardinals, 15 Mountain Island Charter, 14 Lincoln, 13 Ashbrook, 12 East Lincoln, and 11 East Rutherford. Hunter, do you think you could pull off the top 10? Do you know the logos? You can say no. You're bewildered right now.
I know if you
Carson, you want to try?
Yeah, at 10 is the Newton Conover Red Devils at number 9. Stuart Kramer Storm at 8. The Crest Chargers. It's okay. And at 7, the Hunter Huss Huskies. And at 6.
Number 7, who?
Hunter Huss Huskies, baby.
Hunter Huss Huskies.
And at 6, the Maiden Blue Devils.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, boy. You'll love it. You'll love it down on Edgefield Avenue, man. In at 5, the South Point Red Raiders. At 4th, the Thomas Jefferson Griffins. And at 3rd, the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. 2nd, the Shelby Golden Lions. And at 1st from last year, the Kings Mountain Mountaineers.
I just want to know if they ever thought about a different mascot at Kings Mountain.
Why would they?
Just so you don't have to say the name twice.
I
just want to know if it was discussed, like, naming Bill the Mountaineer, or the Bill, I don't know, just anything. The Kings Mountain, something else, Bears or something. There's not the Kings Mountain Mountaineers. Just wondering if it was in discussion. Terry, did you know about that? You was around then, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was around then, but
he was here when the mountain dropped down and just.
Well, after the battle, when they named the team, you were there. What happened?
Well, I mean, my whole deal is this: when you start thinking about places, look, Kings Mountain, they do have a mountain, and you can see it from a long ways away.
I can see it from my house.
So I mean, when you speak of Crest and Burns and Shelby, what do they have that makes them above everybody else? Nothing.
They above everybody.
You're right. Terry's topographically correct.
Elevation-wise,
I hope Dennis Davis and Jeff Jones and the rest of the Cleveland County School and school board commissioners are listening to Terry's geography lesson for Cleveland County. So if you want to be on the level of Kings Mountain, you got to get your own mountain.
That's right.
Step 1, right?
Got the win to be on the top.
Burns is close to South Mountain.
And whenever they make a high school for Crowder's Mountain, they're going to be the Crowder's Mountain Mountaineers.
West Lincoln and Burns will fight over that one.
The South, they're going to fight over the
Patton,
Battle of South Mountain.
Patton,
All right, guys. Let's see. Week 1. Let's go over the schedule real quick for our final break. Carson, we'll do each one of you do a board. Carson the far board, then Hunter, then me, then I'll do the last one. Terry, you do the next last one.
All right, we're going to start in 1A Northmore, heading up to the Community School of Davidson. Christ the King heading to Mountain Island Charter. Northside Christian will take on Pine Lake Prep, and Hickory Grove Christian will take on Union Academy.
Looks like then we have RS Central taking on McDowell. South Stanley against East Rutherford. St. Stephen's versus Bandy's. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Newton Conover against Bunker Hill. Polk County against Chase.
Yeah, we got Forest View will be at East Lincoln. North Lincoln at Thomas Jefferson. Drone will be at West Lincoln. Patton at
Hunter Huss. Yeah, boy.
And East Gaston at North Gaston.
All right, and buys in week 1. Highland Tech, Kings Mountain, and Ashbrook got week 1 off, so they will. Kings Mountain will drop off of the number 1 spot starting in week 1, as they'll be 0-0. A lot of these teams will have wins. Either Crest or South Point will be below Kings Mountain after week 1. They're going to open up next Friday. So let's go over next week's schedule. Pay attention. Get your pencils out, your notepads, thesauruses, or anything else you need to do this.
Terry's ready.
Terry's
always ready, Terry. Always
at
ready.
At 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, folks. Wednesday is the 2018 opening Witherspoon Insurance pregame show because Shelby at Freedom is playing Wednesday night because the American Legion World Series is coming up this week. And KTC Broadcasting has every game of the American Legion World Series except Game 6 Friday night. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So on Wednesday, Witherspoon Insurance 5:30 to 7. And then we have, I'm reading the text there in my head. All right, Wednesday, 5:30 to 7. And then Shelby will play Freedom at 7 o'clock on WHS 1390 AM, 101.5 FM, and YouTube. Freedom at Shelby, Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Brent Pasco, Jeff Jones will have that. And, of course, always some news and notes and information from Steve Degree. All right, then Thursday. No football Thursday, folks. No football Thursday. We have American Legion World Series action. Calvin Hastings and Charlie Cadmus will start off in Game 1 with Mid-Atlantic versus Central Plains at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is the first pitch. I guess we'll start the broadcast about 9:30ish, 9 o'clock that morning. Thursday, Game 1. I'll get the official time from someone here. It'll take me a minute. Game 2. Tim Johnson and Kim Link will have the Mid-South and Northeast. Game 3 will be Dennis Davis and an announcer to be determined. At 4 o'clock, it'll be Southeast versus the Great Lakes. And then Tom Centofanti and Matt Royster will have Northwest versus Western. We like to put our football announcers there on Thursdays to kind of talk about their teams. Andy and Tim will not be able to make it Thursday on that, so Dennis will be there to talk a little bit Chris football in Game 4. And like I said, we'll get him a play-by-play announcer shortly. That's Thursday. So Thursday, 4 American Legion World Series games. And Friday, Game 5 American Legion World Series, 4 o'clock, starting at 3:30 on the radio. Pick it up. Mid-Atlantic versus Mid-South. Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones will have both games next Friday. Now, listen carefully. Here's where it gets a little sticky. After the first game, at 6:30 p.m., if you're listening on our radio right now, you will not be listening to the American Legion World Series starting at 6:30 p.m. on Friday because you'll be switching to football on Friday night at 6:30. WLON will have Kramer at Lincoln with Tim Johnson and Ken Link. And then on Cherville, we'll have Cherville at Bessemer City with Milton Baker and Jason Sane in the Week 1 broadcast, Terry. So put that in your notes that Danny Aker will be sitting at the American Legion World Series every game of the World Series. So Jason Sane and Milton Baker will have that Cherville at Bessemer game for the endowment game. We just talked to Coach Port about it a minute ago, and they're excited about that. A little note from Coach Pruitt. He sent us a picture of the belt. Larry had text him the picture of the belt just to make sure they're taking care of it, nice and shiny for him. So that's a fun thing. We're going to talk about that more. The Battle of Hawk Hill and the creeks and everything else we battle for around here. Real quick, and to finish it up now, Friday night, folks. Crest and Burns fans, you will not be on the radio at all. Crest and Burns fans, you must watch on YouTube. YouTube only, Crest and Burns. YouTube only, Crest and Burns. Crest will be at South Point. Currently, we plan to do it live video. However, if Gaston County or South Point decides at the last minute, like they sometimes do, no matter what, we'll have audio coverage of it. You can listen on YouTube, but hopefully we'll have video. But as of right now, it's the only thing I can say. We definitely will have video at Burns. Alexander Central Cougars will be there to visit the Burns Bulldogs. Tom Sinafani and Matt Royster have that. So remember, Friday night for WHS Shelby fans, if you want to listen to the American Legion World Series and you're in Cherryville or Lincoln and you don't want to listen to football, you still can. And then we'll you still do that. Just listen to WHS online on ktcbroadcasting.com. You can find the links and listen to all these games at ktcbroadcasting.com, folks. All right, Saturday we'll have 1, 4, and 7 o'clock games. Derek Smith and Richard Walker will be at 1. Carson Dockery and Terry Reinhardt will be at 4. And, guys, you may have one of those dreaded teams if Hawaii makes it for the pronunciations. And
I am ready for
Terry's
this.
in charge of that.
Yeah, he is. Terry, you are gonna read. You're gonna read the starting lineup. You're gonna announce every batter that walks up.
As soon as Hawaii comes up, I cannot speak.
Terry's going to the bathroom every half inning.
Yeah. Terry's gonna have
trying to
sudden
pronounce
bladder
the Hawaii
problems.
names.
Yeah.
So, but if North, they're alive in it, is what I've been told. It's still in the contest. So Northwest versus Southeast. And folks, we don't mispronounce the names because we're trying to or we're being disrespectful. We mispronounce the names because we're stupid. So you can call us stupid. That's fine. Call the radio station. Let us know.
Say it for yourself.
We'll call us the radio. Let us know. Text us. We'll happily fix it.
I have no problem.
Total accident.
Like you would in the dictionary, send us the pronunciation with the little hyphens and everything. You know.
Say it 3 times so I know it's right.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
We try. We really do try.
Just
Terry,
sound it
I think you guys are gonna have fun at that. So Carson and Terry with that. Milton Baker and Danny Aker, the 7 o'clock game. Sunday we'll have 3 games as well. 1, 4, and 7:30. And then Monday is the semifinals. Milton Baker and Danny Aker will be at 4. David Ray Allen Jr. and David Ray Allen Sr. will be doing the game at 7. I wonder what they're going to call each other back and forth. That's what I like to listen to when the father-sons do the game. Junior, Senior. Dad, son.
Yeah.
And then the championship game will be Tuesday, August 21st at 7 o'clock. Andy Foster and Rob Roop will have that. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll talk NFL action. We got to talk Terry's new favorite team, Cleveland Browns, right, Terry? No, you're not a Browns fan yet?
Go Dogs.
Almost.
So tired of hearing Cleveland Browns.
We've thrown a parade and won a game since the end of the season. What has Dallas done? How many parades has Dallas won, and how many games has Dallas won since the end of the Super Bowl? Cleveland's 2-0 in that respect. We'll be back in just a minute. It's KTCBroadcasting.com.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
Dive bomb to the inside into turn number 4.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Slams the door on him and knocks him into the sand trap.
The second of 3 road course races.
It takes discipline, patience, and technical skill.
Has some of NASCAR's most promising young drivers.
Justin Allgaier's there. Matt Tifft is there.
Charge into contention.
Daniel Hemrick looks to the inside.
The Rock and Roll Tequila 170. Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Rock and Roll Tequila 170 this Saturday afternoon at 2:30 on Carolina Country, 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com. There are more SUVs than you can imagine at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. No wonder they're known as your SUV headquarters. Some $60,000 SUVs are priced to go, like a 2018 Buick Acadia, now $31,950. A 2018 Cadillac XTS, priced at $36,995. And check out Renato's Smart In and Out service. You get speed, quality, and best of all, you get competitive pricing. So head on over to your SUV headquarters, Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com. You're invited to the 7th Inning Stretch Festival this Saturday, August the 11th, starting at 3 p.m. Games and activities for the whole family. Plenty of food and music featuring Dirty Grass Soul and Randy Owen of Alabama. Join the boss as we broadcast live starting at 3 p.m. Our broadcasts are sponsored by Renato Honda of Shelby, Arnold's Jewelry in Shelby, Bill Shuford Heating and Air of Shelby, Baber Loffledge of Shelby, West End Coyote of Shelby, Runners Automotive of Cherryville, Willis Flooring and Tile of Shelby, Buildings R Us of Shelby, York Tax Service of Cherryville, Renato Kia in Shelby, Carolina Auto Glass of Shelby, West End Bush Hog in Vale, Central Cafe in Shelby, Whiskers, Nails, and Puppy Dog Tails of Shelby, Parker Kubota of Kings Mountain, Clay & Associates of Shelby, Berg Costner Farm Insurance of Shelby, and also by Stamey Funeral Home in Falston. Be sure to come by our booth and register to win 2 tickets to the American Legion Baseball World Series, 2 free nights lodging at the Red Roof Inns, and free Balls t-shirts. The 7th Inning Stretch Festival this Saturday, August the 11th in Uptown Shelby.
Baseball players rely on lots of coaches. First base, third base, pitching, and catching. But when it comes to insurance, you only need one coach, an Allstate agent. They'll help you with your insurance game plan. Plus, Allstate agents can bundle your coverage for your car, apartment, boat, motorcycle, and more. So you've got all your bases covered. Are you in good hands?
Hey, sports fans, call Allstate agent John Brown at 704-435-1920 today. Located at 503 East Main Street in Cherryville. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Buy or sell at the Gaston Pickers, located at 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. They've got it all, from antique furniture to collectibles to consignments. And they do estate auctions too. And right now they're accepting motivated dealers. Just call 704-852-7055 or come by their huge store. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, Sundays 1 till 6. That's the Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too. You're invited to the 7th Inning Stretch Festival this Saturday, August the 11th, starting at 3 p.m. Games and activities for the whole family, plenty of food, and music featuring Dirty Grass Soul and Randy Owen of Alabama. Join the boss as we broadcast live starting at 3 p.m. Our broadcasts are sponsored by Renato GMC of Shelby, Cricket Wireless of Shelby, Webb Chemical and Paper Company in Shelby, the Fairfield Inn in Shelby, West End Bobcat in Vale, Fats Cafe of Shelby, Uptown Mini Storage of Shelby, Hoppers Heating and Air in Shelby, Parker Toro in Kings Mountain, J&D Furniture of Shelby, West End Massey Ferguson of Vale, M&M Tire of Shelby, Sandy's Country Christmas in Shelby, Marco Insurance of Shelby, Renato Buick of Shelby, Mi Pueblito Mexican Restaurant of Shelby, Mr. Pest Control, the Pancake House of Shelby, the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home in Cherryville, Shelby Paint of Shelby, and Glow Saloon of Shelby. Join us this Saturday for the 7th Inning Stretch Festival. There are more SUVs than you can imagine at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. No wonder they're known as your SUV headquarters. Some $60,000 SUVs are priced to go, like a 2018 Buick Acadia, now $31,950. A 2018 Cadillac XTS, priced at $36,995. And check out Renato's Smart In and Out service. You get speed, quality, and best of all, you get competitive pricing. So head on over to your SUV headquarters, Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincoln will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sell priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661.
Put that in stone.
Facts don't care about you.
I am the incredible man. I only do things.
I always like you say, facts are facts. If you don't like the facts, change the facts. It ain't my fault. Don't get mad at me.
Ain't
Right?
first, you're
Prove
last.
who you are.
Yep. Got a little voicemail from one of our faithful listeners down in Greer. We're not going to say his name. He said I'm saying his name too much. Just want to say it's football season. We're talking green and gold football. Well, welcome, Mr. You know who to the. We'll talk about the NFL when the Packers. Anytime it's green and gold football, nobody loves Bessemer City football more than Will. All right, it's time to talk a little NASCAR action. WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, NASCAR racing here in the Carolinas. Denny Hamlin's got the pole. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon going to be a name. Ryan Newman's number 6, Martin Truex 7, Blaney 8, Logano 9, and Alex Bowman 10th.
I'll take 3 guys, and y'all don't have the rest of the field.
You don't even worry about anybody else right now.
I'm taking one.
Once they fully legalize like gambling on NASCAR, like
Terry's
gone. We're never gonna see him again. He's either gonna make a lot of money off of it, or somebody is gonna take his kneecaps.
I was about to say he's gonna be in a ditch somewhere down here in Terrible.
I want somebody, and I guess I didn't really want somebody to do it, but maybe we have a say. I was gonna say I want somebody to dig up Dale Earnhardt and ask him about these Chevys. But let me rephrase. I was rethinking that.
Yeah,
let's have a seance. How about that? And
go.
ask Dale Earnhardt what he thinks about 3 Chevys being in the top 14 in the race this weekend. Terry,
You know what he's going to say?
At Michigan,
He's
they don't
gonna
have a
say,
chance.
Wait a minute. Let me give you a fact and a clue and something that just happened. Chevrolet won the last race.
They did.
There we go.
He's also probably going to look at you and say, shouldn't have changed that body style.
Chase Elliott with his first NASCAR victory. I don't think you should be able to win if you can't make it back around on the victory lap. So Jimmy Johnson should get half a win there and qualify for the playoffs automatically for pushing Chase back across. What do you think about that rule?
No, not on the road course.
Nah.
Not on the road course. Takes you 16 hours to get around.
Yeah, a lot of lefts and rights. Chase Elliott. That is unusual for someone to get their first win on a road course. That's very unusual.
What really got me was when Chase had it under control, 7-8 car lengths ahead, and then the last lap he decides to run off the track.
Yeah, boy.
And all of a sudden Martin Truex is right there behind him, and I'm like, how in the world? Now I know you got to be concentrating, and you're worried because Chase has finished second so many times. And he's like even thinking about it, I think, too much then. But he ended up pulling away there at the end to win it. But congratulations to Chase Elliott. I thought, though, buddy, you had really messed up.
Mm-hmm. Terry, I like how you said give the rest of us the field. You only need 3. I'm only going to need 1. And he placed second, and that name is Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Busch is so competitive in each race.
Oh, he is.
He's so competitive in each race. And I'm not just talking like competitive nature. I'm talking he's always in the front of the pack trying to get up there, and he is not afraid to bump bumpers with anybody. Denny Hamlin is his part, they're race buddies. They're on the same team at Joe Gibbs. I wouldn't be surprised if he raced him. Wouldn't be surprised if he raced him. Just
I'm gonna tell you something that I'm pulling for him. That's who I went to, Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
For the simple reason of what you're saying.
He's a competitor.
He's a competitor, and if there's a way for him to get through it, I don't care what kind of hole he's coming through it.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
get to the front. But here's the problem I had with him last week, and I don't like to criticize him because he is a winner. He wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem I had with him last week, he said, second race this year that we've blown it into pits. And I'm kind of like, okay, Kyle, now don't go too heavy in on this, because what about the ones that you wreck and it was your fault?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't have nothing to do with no guys in the pits.
He's just going to look at you and say, I was racing hard.
Yeah.
I was racing hard.
And this is what's funny from Terry saying that about Kyle Busch, because he's switching to be a Kyle Busch fan. That's exactly how Dale Earnhardt used to do.
Well, it was.
Folks, if you don't remember, didn't never saw Dale Earnhardt. When he lost the race, he got out the pit. They put the microphone in front of him. He started talking about the car, the tire changer. Like, it was immediate. That dumb tire changer messed the whole race up. Like, he would throw everyone under the bus.
Right.
Like, it came out so quick. But it's kind of like Kyle Busch does
He
too.
did last week.
And some people like.
Under the bus.
A lot of people like it. A lot of people don't. I'm particularly not one to like that, because everybody's, they're not trying to mess up. They're trying to come out here and change their tires and get you going out there. They're doing their best. They put a lot of time and money into practice and stuff like that.
The tire changers now are like former collegiate
athletes. Yeah, they're former
Back
athletes.
then, it was some
Yeah.
dude. It was Terry who worked
with a Marlboro Light in his
with a Marlboro Light in his mouth, filling a gas tank.
What are we saying here?
Some dude
Not
from
you, Terry, just a guy named
some
Terry.
dude from the local Jiffy Lube coming down here to change a tire.
He didn't have anything to do on Sunday afternoon. Dale was like, "Hey man, come on, just change my tires for me."
I'm big
I'll give you
enough. I can handle
$100.
the tire.
But yeah, but yeah, to get mad at the crews and everything like that. And I'll say this, as a Jimmy Johnson fan, he's never had a good crew, and he's won 7 championships. So the whole crew thing has always been to me like, I understand, because it is frustrating as a Johnson fan to what I don't know how many races I've watched him over the years. He comes into pits leading and comes out 4th. It's like every single time. You just got to deal with it, and Kyle's got to just at some point quit whining about it. And you've got one of the best 4 or 5 race cars in NASCAR. Just shut up.
You can't play off your competitiveness as that, like
and
getting mad at somebody. No, man, I'm just competitive. That's the way I'm wired.
No, individual sport.
Yeah,
it's an individual sport. It's like yelling at the caddy every time.
Yeah,
you
it's
hit a bad
like
shot,
golf.
right?
Just caddy.
It's like that guy.
Caddy told me to use a 6 iron. I should have used a 7. I should have went with my gut.
That guy who they were at a tournament the other day, and I guess a cameraman was jingling change in his pocket. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, this dude. He's behind a bunker, and I guess the cameraman's got change in his pocket. He's walking over there, and the guy goes, "All right, that's it. You're done. Leave. Making too much noise." And the golfer literally, they started to back up, and he's like, "No, leave." and dude, you're a child. You're telling me that as a professional golfer, you can't block out somebody jingling
You
change
can't
in
tell
their
me
pocket?
that they don't, in their spare time, go out there and get absolutely blitzered and just play golf with their buddies.
They
Come
do.
on now.
There's a fine line on that. I like what you guys are saying, and I do. There's the Phoenix Open where there's a lot of noise. I think there's a fine line between if there's a lot of noise, you're used to it. You can hear it. It sounds like a basketball game. It's just people talking, people making noise, whatever. The ones you don't want and you're going to have is the jerks that yell something.
Oh, in their backswing.
So if you say you can have noise,
in the hole!
and then in your backswing, it is so hard to hear someone say something like that. I understand that. Maybe they can come out.
I probably would understand this too. Like, rustling change is kind of like someone tapping their pencil, if you think about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you one of those people?
Well, after a while, you can be fine with it. But if it's a camera guy that's with you because you're one of the top, if you're one of the think about it. If
there's
you're
birds out there. He's gonna yell at a bird.
Yeah.
Shut up, bird.
Shut up.
No, Carson. What did he say? You're out of here.
You're out.
You're done. You're done, bird.
Out of here.
Let me pull this slingshot out.
But I know that y'all have played sports before, and I
free throws.
Kevin,
I try to
say,
compare it to.
Yeah, free throws.
Yeah.
You just you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't hear nothing.
You got to block it out.
It's like standing into a batter's box.
Yeah.
This is me against the pitcher, and whatever people are hollering, I usually never hear it.
Yeah.
It's like being an umpire.
You shouldn't pay attention to that.
If I'm an umpire and I'm listening to everything that's happening outside that
You're
fence,
missing what's going on in front of you.
that's mostly tuned out. I have no clue of that.
Yeah.
And that's just like the other day we talk about stuff that happens. The things that would bother me is when was it Dustin Johnson the other day that had the ball hit behind him?
Yeah.
When he's getting ready to swing.
Oh no, yeah, that.
You know, now that would bother me. Like,
that's, yeah.
Almost got hit. Yeah.
What idiot hit the ball over here?
How far away from the fairway was Dustin Johnson?
No, he was on the tee.
Oh, okay.
Getting ready to tee off
back.
on one of the holes, and then the ball's bouncing behind him. Somebody had hit it wide, you know.
No, I didn't see
wide is an understatement.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. Since we got over there, let's pull up the PGA scorecard for our next break real quick. Tiger's there.
He's playing all right.
He's there.
He's there. Gary Woodland was leading after 36. He actually set the 36-hole mark. They had to replay round 2, restarted this morning. Woodland's still at 10 under. Kisner's at 9 under. Koepka 8. Dustin Johnson and Schwartzel. And Johnson's been the hottest golfer, I think, the past 2 years.
Dustin Johnson is my favorite
maybe a year
golfer.
or 2 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Mostly because he's from South Carolina.
He did the opposite of Tiger. Tiger got caught messing around with his wife, and his thing went downhill. And Dustin Johnson got caught messing around with every other one's wives.
Yeah.
And once he got caught, he started playing better.
And he married Wayne Gretzky's daughter. Not bad.
Weird.
Not
golf.
Winner.
Golf. I've already said football and golf.
As Charlie Sheen would put it, winner.
Golly. All right. I was going to try to find out where Tiger was.
You know, I mean,
he was at -3 coming into today. I do know that.
He
and
should
he
be
was
on the course
hole
right now.
number 7. So,
okay.
Well, I mean, real quick about Tiger. He's playing 5 tournaments in 6 weeks. When's the last time you remember Tiger playing that much golf?
I don't remember doing that when he was playing.
When he
active,
was, I mean, you know, he's saying he's more comfortable. He led the Open Championship for 9 holes at one point on a Sunday. I mean, you can't. At a certain point, you can't just wait for a win to say Tiger's back. I mean, he's probably at this point he's as good as he's going to get now, just about. He'll have really good days where he'll still be one of the best golfers in the world, but at the same time, we keep waiting for him to come back and win 3 or 4 majors in a row like he used to. That's not going to happen.
We all know it's not going to happen. People need to view it as this with Tiger Woods. He's going to show glimpses of what he wants.
It's going to be like Bo Jackson after he came back from the artificial hip. It's like, he's still Bo Jackson, and you're going to see every once in a while, like, there's the pop of it, but it's not going to be.
No, it's not consistent. It will not be consistent. I don't think he'll win a tournament, even if it's a small tournament. I don't think he'll win it.
I could see him winning like a PGA event. I don't know if he'll win another major though. And
he could win one of those ones that he hosts or one that half
exactly.
The
one of those ones that he's played 100 rounds at a golf course.
And a lot of people, if you don't follow golf, don't play, you don't understand. One guy gets hot, you play 4 rounds. One guy drops to 63, all of a sudden he's in there. And there's 140 people out here playing golf. It's not that Tiger's playing terrible. My goodness, he's on the pro tour.
But that's the thing about it.
Good.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is that he's playing other professionals who can also be just as good as him, if not better, at any given point.
And he's 40-something years old.
Yeah, you got to think about it too. The field is so diverse now. Everybody can play. Like back then, he was just dominant. Now there's 4 or 5 different people who could dominate each.
They had new equipment, and he was the most in shape player and can hit it.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, not that. But now that he's 40. The equipment's caught up with him, and the 20-year-old players in their way.
Yeah.
So
I think every golfer knows now, like, you have to take it like your health seriously. Yeah, I
mean,
there's
no walruses out. There's a few of them.
It's not like like I mean, you can't just be like, well, I'm a golfer.
They're
all
not
I have
just
to do
out
is
there
walk.
drinking scotch every time they're in between swings. Like
I think Daly got mad at him because they wouldn't let him one time. They wanted.
Well, shocker.
He actually quit the British Open, U.S. Open a couple weeks ago because they wouldn't let him get a cart.
Really?
He had a knee injury, and my point on that is that folks, this is the senior tour. It's bad enough we're worried about the integrity of the golf game, and I know making them walk for 4 days and everything and through that. But at the end of the day, right at this point, we make changes in the sports. These guys are millionaires, and you're asking them to walk through the rain and the wherever else, and you walk for 3 or 4 miles, and that's a lot of people don't think about how much you actually walk.
Yeah.
The seniors, I do think, need the carts.
Definitely.
When they used to play over here at Rock Barn, and they walk that, and I ride it, and I get tired because there's so many hills. Mm-hmm. The seniors hated that place, and I just don't. I don't think it's. I think they should just let them ride, and that it's not going to affect. who's going to stop watching the Senior PGA Tour because
Yeah,
they got
exactly.
carts? Wouldn't they have more maybe if they had? What if you got to watch John Daly out there in the Bubba Watson
the hovercraft
cart? Have them in the hover carts.
Yeah,
they could sell so much advertising.
Advertising, yeah. You put advertisements on the top of that thing when you have a flyover.
Yeah, and here comes Daly in his easy way. Go down here and buy your
just
get your little easy way.
So we fixed golf though on that.
Speaking of the PGA guys, do you not think they've kind of made this a little too easy? I mean, you got guys out here that we're looking down there. It's got like they shoot a 67. That's great. I'll take that every day.
Yeah.
But I just lost 4 strokes to some guy who shot a 63.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, what is the record? Like
a
58 or 59?
Well, Woodland's at he set the 2-day record at 10 under. So I'm guessing close to 20. I don't know.
I mean,
probably 15 or something.
Well, he shot a 64 one day and a 66 the next.
Yeah.
And you're looking at that, and these guys down here, like Charles
Schwartzel.
Yeah, Schwartzel.
There we go.
He shot a 63.
Yeah, boy.
All right, Terry, this is not looking good for your
not looking good for the Northwest All-Stars.
See, Terry, would you rather see somebody set a 2-day record and shoot a 63, or would you rather watch the U.S. Open where the winner is going to shoot 4 under overall?
I would rather watch a Masters because it's tough. And your angles are at tough locations, and for you to get when you start shooting like this, I mean, why don't we just give them like a +3 for a birdie and a 2 for a par?
Terry wants to do stable for scoring system.
I mean,
if it's easy, Terry don't want it.
I mean, it should be tough. This is a PGA Tour.
Yep.
It shouldn't be where everybody out here is shooting 63s.
They're playing best ball, man. That's what they're doing.
All
right, it's time for another break. Let's get out of here in just a second real quick. Coming up September 30th in Charlotte, the Roval is coming. The playoffs are coming on 92.3 FM. The first ever Roval race. I was listening to them on PRN coming in today. They were pretty excited about that and looking forward to see. That's what's crazy about it, and we've talked about it before. Just the fact they threw it in the Chase as a first-time race is crazy.
That is wild.
It's going to ruin someone's
yes, it will.
Chase. It's going to ruin a couple of people because, one, think about all the wrecks we're about to have. Nobody knows what speed to take into any corner.
Yeah, nobody knows the lines.
Who's going to be beside? Like, how are you going to race beside somebody? Like, usually,
how far in advance do you get to go and run like practice? I mean.
What? The day before.
They've already run a couple sessions. They're letting them run them when they've got these off weeks. So they're letting them run some sessions to kind of get used to it. But the thing is, they aren't going to practice with 43 cars on the track running side by side.
No, they're not.
Because
it's one at a time.
If you go to Sonoma or Watkins Glen or somewhere, when I get to turn 4 or whatever, the guy beside me is probably going to brake or hard brake or do this. They don't know in this one. I think it's going to be fun.
First lap is going to be fun.
I'm going to be sitting there watching it. I'll be in the house for that one.
All I got to do is say your last 3 races, the Roval, Talladega, and Daytona. That's how you end it. Then you'll know who your true champion is.
I do agree with Terry. on this. I would like, if they're going to put Daytona in the final 10 anyway, put them in the. I want it to be the last race of the season because it's kind of random. All right, we will take a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join the boss this Saturday, August the 11th, for the American Legion World Series 7th inning stretch kickoff sale at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. We'll be there from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., and starting at 11 a.m., we'll have free Dairy Queen hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks, and also free Dairy Queen Blizzards. Free Blizzards from Dairy Queen. Select from M&M Blizzards, Oreo Blizzards, and Reese Cup Blizzards. All free. So get a Dairy Queen hot dogs, chips and drink, and a DQ Blizzard. All free this Saturday at Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby. Plus register to win some great prizes, including 2 tickets to the American Legion Baseball World Series. Also 2 free nights lodging at the Red Roof Inn. Free food and golf certificates and Boss t-shirts. And while you're there, check out the great buys. If you've been looking for an SUV, Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby is the place. They're this area's SUV headquarters. Pick up this week's What's Up Shopper and see what they have. So make plans to be there this Saturday at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. You're invited to the 7th Inning Stretch Festival this Saturday, August the 11th, starting at 3 p.m. Games and activities for the whole family. Plenty of food and music featuring Dirty Grass Soul and Randy Owen of Alabama. Join the boss as we broadcast live starting at 3 p.m. Our broadcast are sponsored by Renato Honda of Shelby, Arnold's Jewelry in Shelby, Bill Shuford Heating and Air of Shelby, Baber Loffledge of Shelby, West End Coyote of Shelby, Brunner's Automotive of Cherryville, Willis Flooring and Tile of Shelby, Buildings R Us of Shelby, York Tax Service of Cherryville, Renato Kia in Shelby, Carolina Auto Glass of Shelby, West End Bush Hog in Vale, Central Cafe in Shelby, Whiskers, Nails, and Puppy Dog Tails of Shelby, Parker Kubota of Kings Mountain, Clay and Associates of Shelby, Berg Costner Farm Insurance of Shelby, and also by Stamey Funeral Home in Falston. Be sure to come by our booth and register to win 2 tickets to the American Legion Baseball World Series, 2 free nights lodging at the Red Roof Inns, and free Balls t-shirts. The 7th Inning Stretch Festival this Saturday, August the 11th, in Uptown Shelby.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Has your old heating and air conditioning system been giving you some trouble? Well, have no fear. Bill Shuford Heating and Air Conditioning is here. Bill Shuford Heating and Air services all makes and models. Just call 704-484-0025. Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been Cleveland County's leader in home comfort since 1983, featuring American Standard heating and air conditioning systems. Visit them online at BillShufordHVAC.com. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby.
Check out the Wings and Fries Lunch Basket Special at Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks in Gastonia. Only $5.99. That's right, only $5.99. Wings and fries from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And remember, every Wednesday is Senior Day at Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks. Get full service catering, deliveries, and carry out, and party packs too. Hillbilly's Barbecue and Steaks, 903 East Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia.
Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow. Right now, at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot at Flooring America, located at 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
Terry is the incredible man. He's writing in his little notepad.
Oh, God.
Because the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl.
It's time for Saturday Morning
real
Rhymes
mad.
with KTC Broadcasting. Carson, you got some lines you want to drop?
No.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
I have this thing I want to keep. It's called my dignity.
Hey. There's no such thing as that on live radio, okay?
Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, come on now. Be a good sport.
Welcome back to the broadcast. We got to talk a little bit. We had a fun little phone call there from one of our listeners, Mr. Boykins. He had a prediction for you guys, Terry, for you to take into Wednesday, that the only state champion in our area will come out of Cleveland County this year. And his second prediction was the Cleveland County champion of the year this year was going to be Chris. So, I mean, you can take that for what it's worth.
I had them at number 1, Will.
Hey, well, he's on the bandwagon with you, Will.
There you go.
The Will's driving it. Terry's the wheel man if something goes wrong, right? You're the tire man.
Terry
works the
caboose. On the little nozzle to our offense and defense. If one of them lets down, I'm going to let it go.
Terry, you know who beat Chris last year, right?
What else does that matter?
They forget that there's a Hunter Hussman sitting at the table.
Will
Carson Dockery in the house. He says,
you
got to go through Huss before you go.
I just remember last year it happened. I showed up, and first off, I didn't know it happened. I got here, Steve was like, Huss beat Chris, right? And I was like, really? Because then I went in here and I just felt the somberness just emanating.
They weren't feeling good in here.
From half the table, Dennis and Will, they looked like somebody had punched them in the gut, like their dog had died. But, it's all right.
And I tried to leave alone that night. because they were sad.
Oh, that was great.
They were sad. And in our poll, Huss is ahead of Crest.
Yeah, they are.
7 over 8, right behind Maiden and South Point. Mr. Boykin said that they're going to handle South Point. South Point can't throw on them, and you don't even think they're going to be able to run on them this year, Terry.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Crest defense is pretty stout.
I just told him on the phone I thought they were the best one I saw last night.
They were pretty stout defensive-wise, but also going to hit Will with something else.
Oh, good.
Hit him.
Tell me how you really feel.
Little quarterback at Green Bay come out this past week saying his receiver was terrible.
Oh,
they did not know how to
poor
run the plays.
Ron.
They didn't know what they were doing out there, but they come up and they win game 1. So somewhere along the line, he got through to them what he must have wanted.
Yeah.
Because they did win their first preseason game.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was kind of felt sorry for Aaron Rodgers because he was just putting every one of his wide receivers down.
He's been complaining a lot.
He kind of reminded me of LeBron.
You know
about
why?
his contract.
You know why he's been complaining? Because he's finally realized that I need to get out of Green Bay.
He's in Green Bay.
He's never going to leave Green Bay. He owns a percentage of the Bucks.
What's your point?
He's not going to leave the state of Wisconsin. He just wants to get paid probably what he should.
Yeah.
Well, if they're not going to pay him, then obviously go somewhere that realizes he's one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league, so just pay him.
He couldn't make Cleveland's roster right now.
Cleveland's too good for him.
Aaron Rodgers couldn't make the Browns roster right now.
The Cleveland Browns,
technically
could have one of the most stacked rosters in the league.
Hey, between the Packers and Browns last year, which one's got a quarterback that won a playoff game?
Boy.
Couldn't start over him because he's a playoff winner. And which one's got a #1 pick? Browns. He could be 3rd string in Cleveland, Terry.
You better be glad y'all got somebody come in that won a playoff game.
Yeah,
we that do. Even won a game.
He'll start week 1. And
you know when the last time that the Cleveland Browns are on national television?
What are you talking about?
NFL on national television. I did say this a couple weeks ago. I want to reinforce this. The last time they were on national television was 2002.
Yep.
2002. Since don't say that the Browns have this long tradition. Listen, that tradition they took with them to Baltimore, and guess what? They've won 2 Super Bowls since then.
Yeah.
But right now, the new Browns
franchise got 2 Super Bowls. Technically.
Look, man. Look. You mean to tell me that NFL Red Zone, where I can watch every game, is not national television? Okay.
No. I guess it don't go on.
I guess it don't count. Okay.
What's funny about that, there's people driving cars that have never seen the Browns on TV.
Yeah.
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 Right.
There are.
Wow.
And you know why? Because when you look back at them and you say 17 out of the last 21 years, they've been last.
Because they don't have a star on their helmet, Terry. That's all it is.
Well, that and you
they hope they do get.
That's just one of those top down.
Speaking of stars and Browns, Dez Bryant talking about maybe coming to the Browns. Yeah. Browns want to have him in. It seems
he's
like
already said.
Did you see? Once. No, he gave a real I don't know if he's like no. I want to make sure I'm right before I let a team. Yeah. That means
he was like Land. I'm coming to see you. I'm like well okay.
He's got to come and earn a stripe.
He can go to Montreal and not get any completions from Johnny Manziel. He'll play. He'll be a DB.
Hey,
hey man, 4 picks and a half.
I know.
The only other place I've seen that is Division II football. So
speaking of, wait a minute, did Romo do that and win that game?
Finest.
He didn't throw 4. Did he throw 4 in the Buffalo game and come back and win, or was it 3 in the first half? That was the best game I think I've ever seen in that era. Barber played really well that game. You know what I'm talking about? They were down 20-0. Romo had thrown 3 picks, and then he came back in the second half, and they had that play where he ran around 60 yards and then threw a completion for a first down and they come back and won.
I can't remember.
Nick Folk hit a 58-yard field goal.
I do know that Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 interceptions last year.
That's true too. Speaking of wide receivers, Kelvin Benjamin. Talk about this a little
bit. He's the president of the Tall and That's All Club.
First of all, he's big. Golly.
Tall and that's all.
He matches up with Cam.
You know how big Cam Newton is, and Cam was kind of looking up to Kelvin. It's just, you forget, because you used to see him in spring training, them two and Greg Olson all standing together. They're some big human beings. And Cam wanted to talk to, Kelvin about what he had said. Chris Carter's making the point, 2 things. One, where Cam was wrong, he shouldn't have touched him.
He should not have.
Shouldn't have bumped him. He's lucky. He said, if it would have been me, I would have hit him. I mean, that was Chris Carter.
KB was laughing the whole time.
Right. So
I thought that tells you all you needed to know.
I think Carter was trying to make the point that they have each other's phone number.
Yeah.
They have each other's Instagram or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They could easily, if Cam
you
really had
they don't
something
know
to
where
talk,
they each other live.
If Cam had something to talk about and they needed to be discussed, they could have done it another way. He's saying Cam walked 40 yards across the field
to do it in front of a photographer.
Right. Now, the funniest part of the whole thing was him waving off Thomas Davis.
That was all.
I about fell out of my chair. Now remember, Thomas Davis is a linebacker.
Yeah.
NFL linebacker. You said to anybody on the streets, you want to wrestle him? You want to meet him? You want to fight him? No. He's an NFL linebacker. Cam Newton shooed him away. Shoe flied. Go away, little man. This is between two grown men, and we're talking now. Remember, if this was any other team, what if it was the Packers? And I said the quarterback,
Aaron Rodgers,
and a 6'6", 240-pound tight endish looking fella.
Let's say it's
and the linebacker. All had a conversation. You know, who would be the meanest one in that group? You'd say probably the linebacker, but no. In Carolina, the linebacker got shooed, and the wide receiver and the quarterback shooed the linebacker.
But if you think about it, look, if you watched a little bit before, it looked like Thomas Davis and Kelvin Benjamin were just having a normal conversation.
I think Thomas was giving him some mess about the situation.
He probably was.
He's like, "Oh, here comes Cam.
Here comes Cam. Oh, here comes
Cam.
Cam.
He's going to talk to you. Here he comes." And Cam chest bumped him. At that point, I think that's
weak.
I bet Kelvin would have shook his hand if at first he had to come up and just did that.
Yeah.
But he kind of just bumped into him, and yeah, that's kind of
that is the epitome of Cam. He like you said, he didn't need to do it in front of anybody. They have each other's phone numbers. They know where each other lives. Probably they didn't need to do this right in front of a camera in the middle of the field. They could have done this in the tunnel.
Exactly.
You could have done it literally anywhere else, but Cam, being Cam, wants to be seen.
They want to make a story out.
I don't know if either one of y'all had in your communications classes, radio class. Did y'all ever take a class called nonverbal communication?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite classes where you watch someone talk and try to read it. You know, you read
body
language. What's their bodies doing? What are they telling?
It's body language.
And that's the whole thing of it. You come up and bump somebody.
Cam,
it's not, hey, we're
in a way, because Cam was probably thinking, Kelvin doesn't think I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out there and try and do an intimidation factor where I'm walking up, I'm chest bumping him, and I'm like, look, I know what you said. I thought we were boys, and you could see. Cam,
I bet KB was like, "Well, you can't throw it right here, Cam."
Shannon Sharp said, "Watching what happened.
Yeah,
this is nothing to do with football.
No, it's not."
He said, "There's something else."
Yeah,
and he said, "I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it." So Shannon knows something. Maybe some of the players know something.
They used to hang out all the time in Atlanta.
There's something that happened between the two at some point that kind of got this started.
This is deeper than football. It's deeper than football.
And my biggest thing, if Benjamin didn't want to talk to Cam or didn't want this to start, he could have made them comments this week.
Yeah.
Because he knew they were playing the Panthers.
Right.
Well, at the same time,
they would never see each other.
Do you think he would get asked those questions this week?
I don't know.
Too?
I don't. Yeah, that's a good question because I don't know exactly what the question was that he was asked. If Hallie kind of came back at that, I would like to know that. JP, we got one more break. All right. I want to get through all my notes. Let's see. Saquon Barkley had one good run and 3 not so good runs. Any thoughts on? It's just 4 runs,
43 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
average.
bad.
Average-wise, that's not bad.
They only had one rush over, I think, 25 yards last year, and they had in Saquon's first rush.
First touch,
went over that. So there's that.
He'll be special, but the people that christened him like top 5 running back already in the league coming in, I'm like, calm down. Let him play real defenses first.
Redskins lost running back.
Yes, unfortunately, Darius Guice.
Guys towards ACL last night or yesterday. Was it yesterday or day before?
Day
before. It was day before.
Out
for the season.
He's talking about running backs. Did you watch Oakland play last night?
I did not. Marshawn.
I was at a high school football game.
Marshawn had a second level.
They didn't come on until way late. I was watching it.
I went home and rewatched it. I watched it on YouTube. I won't watch our.
So there you go.
Broadcast. I saw a highlight NFL Network put up on Instagram, and it was Marshawn absolutely blowing past DB still.
Like it was. But I want to tell you something about their team.
Right.
It's not just about him. The guy that backs him up, Chris Warren. Mm-hmm. The guy, he's pretty stout too. Those Lynch and him together are huge guys.
I always
in
thought
that
what
backfield.
hurt Oakland, though, last year was just Carr getting injured. If Derek Carr can go a full season without getting injured, that team's pretty good.
Every NFL team is like that.
I think Oakland's biggest
problem. Browns,
Oakland,
especially.
Oakland, just like the Rams, they just need to pony up and pay their best defensive player. Khalil Mack hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
Khalil Mack apparently has not said 2 words to John Gruden.
Yeah.
Apparently, John Gruden got the job 2-3 months ago. He hasn't reached out to him to try and talk. That's just not normal.
That's just like with the Ravens. They said opening night when the Ravens played the Bears, they said Roquan Smith hadn't even showed up.
Well, that's a whole thing because of that whole weird thing that they're trying to put in.
He wants his guaranteed money even if he misses games for suspension.
Yeah, no, they're trying to basically say even though it's guaranteed money, we want it back if you get so many of the new helmet rule penalties called on you.
And that's silly.
That's ridiculous.
Nobody
What's the
knows
point of
how
calling
the
it guaranteed
nobody
money
knows
if you
how
can
the
take it
rule
back?
is. You don't know how the rules will be called. I wouldn't sign a contract that's going to say,
no.
Hey, I don't know how I'm going to act or do, but if I do it wrong, you get all my money.
But that's
back.
funny because
that you said was guaranteed.
The commentators even said this. I mean, I'm a Georgia fan, so I believe it too. But they even said this: Roquan Smith could be the best player out of that draft. He could be the best player out of that draft, and they're just you can't compromise with. You need to get him into camp. He needs to get in there and getting reps. Like Baltimore, they need their players, and it'd be great for him to get in there and work behind Suggs. Learn a little bit, so you got to work with your players a little bit, man.
Go ahead. One other thing, I want to mention something about your Rams. I hated how you started the year because it was a downfall right off the bat.
I don't care.
The kickoff.
I don't care.
To start the year
Let me
in
tell
a
you something,
preseason game,
Terry.
they were offsides.
Terry,
I'm like, wait, you got to be kidding me.
You had one job.
Terry, what is week 1, the preseason week
You're
1
right, it means
done for
nothing.
anybody ever? I do not care. I do not care.
This is how you
Talk to me in
start
3 weeks.
your year.
Talk to me in 3 weeks.
Got the Browns a win.
I don't care.
It got the Browns a win. They're one up from what they
What
were.
happens if you have a 33-year-old head coach?
I could care less.
Signing Domicon Sue, you got people jumping off sides on the kickoff.
I will say this though, and I said it earlier before we even got on this subject. Preseason once again has proven to me why I hate it so much. Just the injuries are everywhere, not just
and
guys.
it's pointless football.
Seriously, Terry, though, and I hate this, Carson.
No, I don't care.
But with adding Sue to a team like that, that will make other players see him act a certain way and be like, well, I can act a certain way.
I don't know, man.
Is that going to be we don't know. Like I said,
I think you've got all these personalities. You got Ndamukong Suh, you got Aqib Talib, you've got Marcus Peters, but I think you've got the best coach to handle that in Wade Phillips, a guy who's
Wade.
He's put up with Aqib Talib once already. He's dealt with Von Miller, who is his own entity. I just think.
But he's a beast.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. He's been able to coach lots of different personalities. He's won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. He's a guy who knows how to use these personalities, and I follow him on Twitter. He's just a dude who has a good sense of humor.
I like Wade.
He's a guy.
I wish he'd have been our defensive coordinator.
He's a guy who people can just like, and that helps. I think just as much as he's obviously a great game planner and everything, but his personality will help.
Wade tells the guys to do a job, and they
do it.
I think Wade Phillips really compliments Sean McVay.
Yeah, they do.
Because now Sean McVay, the offensive mind that he is like, all right, Wade, that defense is yours, man.
He's still a young head coach. He's not going to command the defensive room like Wade Phillips does. So he can be comfortable and know that he knows everything on the offensive side of the ball. And he's slowly just getting more and more comfortable with Wade Phillips. And, Wade Phillips doesn't have that much more time left.
No.
So, that's just life. You got to retire at some point. Eventually, whenever he does pass on to the football afterlife, he'll be fine. Not he. He'll be fine, obviously. But the Rams, I think, will figure things out by then. Sean McVay will maybe be 40 by then, and be even more comfortable.
All right, Terry. Real quick, we only got about 60 seconds before we got to take a break. Looking at last year, every year we have 6 teams on average miss the playoffs in each division, each conference, and we'll make it total, there's 12 teams. 6 teams missed, 6 teams back. We've made our list. Looking at y'all's guys' list, anybody you want to make a change yet so far? Because we did these lists before drafts, for anything else.
Yeah, I got one at least.
If there's any real quick changes, go ahead and make mention that you want to take out and put in.
Yeah, I'm going to take out Seattle.
Okay.
Man,
I had you written down as New Orleans.
Okay,
well,
this one,
sheet.
yeah. Okay, this one, okay. Yeah, New Orleans, perfect.
Yeah, my sheet, I had you took out Seattle and add New Orleans. I was thinking about Houston scares me, but that's the only people I got in that division, so I had to pick one. I got Cleveland in and Oakland in. I'm not feeling great about Oakland right now.
You're not feeling great about Oakland and when you have a Cleveland pick.
Well, exactly. I mean, what made the playoffs in the AFC last year? 9-7?
Yeah.
With Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod.
I mean, honestly, Cleveland's got better personnel than Buffalo had last year. And you look in the AFC, they go 8-8. They're going to be close.
My whole thing about Cleveland.
I'm not saying they're going 10-6 or anything, but
Cleveland
if they go 8-8, they're going to be close.
It's a top-down thing. Until I see Cleveland do it, I don't know if they can.
Yeah,
that's my whole deal with Cleveland. It's not to say that. I mean, they obviously have really good talent. They have a lot of young talent on the defensive side of the ball too. But until they do,
you know what's crazy?
I'm just not going to believe it.
Just looking at this, none of us have Carolina getting in the playoffs.
They're going to finish 9-7, miss the playoffs.
I mean,
I told my buddy last night, and he thinks I'm crazy because he's a huge Carolina fan. I said, you're the third best team in this division.
That's what I said.
I said it's New Orleans,
I literally
Atlanta.
said the exact same thing last night.
I said it's New Orleans,
third best
Atlanta,
team, third best
Carolina.
quarterback in the division.
Maybe even unless Jameis comes around, could be fourth.
I would rather have Cam than Jameis.
Well, okay. Throwing
just
wise,
for a lot of reasons.
Arm-wise, I'd probably have Jameis over Cam because Jameis is more accurate than Cam. But if you're talking about it just overall,
he's probably going to be on the field.
Jameis was treading upwards for me, but
now he's not.
Now he's not because the last year, that's it, Carson. He's a quarterback. He's a child. And the last year, you can get away with Cam throwing bad passes is different than throwing dumb passes.
Yeah,
Cam don't throw a lot of dumb passes.
He doesn't, yeah.
He throws a lot of bad passes. Jameis throws some dumb passes.
It was a lost cause for me on Jameis when they caught him on video in that huddle acting like his fingers were chicken. Acting like he had just eaten
We're going to eat this dub.
And
eat
he's just
the dubs.
Sucking all
that
on his
ought to be
fingers.
Terry's saying, eat the dubs. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll finish it up the show. We got quick notes on baseball, and we got to talk a little North Carolina Tar Heel football. We'll be back in just a minute. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Country Countdown USA.
I'm Charles Kelly of Lady Antebellum.
And I'm Brett Young. Lon's off this week, and we'll co-host the countdown in his place.
Brett was on tour with us all last year, so we've got a lot to talk about. Plus, Brett has a top 5 hit right now.
And Lady A has a song in the top 15.
Join us this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on WCSL, 1590 AM, and now 92.3 FM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Dive bomb to the inside into turn number 4.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Slams the door on him and knocks him into the sand trap.
The second of 3 road course races.
It takes discipline, patience, and technical skill.
Has some of NASCAR's most promising young drivers.
Justin Allgaier's there. Matt Tifft is there.
Charge into contention.
Daniel Hemrick looks to the inside.
The Rock and Roll Tequila 170. Saturday at 2:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
The Rock and Roll Tequila 170 this Saturday afternoon at 2:30 on Carolina Country, 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
It's time now for the news. A new radio show is taking the nation by storm. It's called This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. And, well, thank you. Who are you? Well, I'm J.J. Wilson, and I'm the host of This is the 60s. This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. News headlines, pop culture corner, and more. But I was going to say all that. Get out of my news booth, certainly.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincoln. There are more SUVs than you can imagine at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. No wonder they're known as your SUV headquarters. Some $60,000 SUVs are priced to go, like a 2018 Buick Acadia, now $31,950. A 2018 Cadillac XTS, priced at $36,995. And check out Renato's Smart In and Out service. You get speed, quality, and best of all, you get competitive pricing. So head on over to your SUV headquarters, Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Isolated and alone?
That's how millions of Americans feel while experiencing a mental health crisis.
Need to talk? Our providers love to listen.
Call us now at 1-888-235-HOPE.
That's 1-888-235-4673.
Partners, improving lives and strengthening communities in North Carolina. 1-888-235-HOPE. 235-4673.
Because he runs, he gets hurt. Yeah! Welcome back to the Cam Saturday Sports Talk. The Cam Newton talk has gotten a little heated.
Man, let's go.
A little questionable. Got quite a few comments about Cam Newton has won MVP. And here's my thoughts on the one MVP thing. And I'll say this all again. It's a beauty pageant. I don't care about anything that is voted on with an opinion. Here is why. On the opinion-wise, the year Cam Newton won MVP, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks had 4,000 yards and over 100 rating. Cam Newton was not one of them. 8 quarterbacks threw for 4,000 yards and 100 rating, and Cam wasn't one of them. So, back that train up. He was voted on the MVP. Of those, I got 10 quarterbacks on this list. He's dead last in yards, dead last in rating, dead last in completion percentage. The only thing he did lead them in was 3-yard rushing attempts from the 5-yard line, stealing touchdowns away from Jonathan Stewart and
Mike
Tolbert.
Yeah.
So
the little Superman leap he does.
Let's back out the voting. And as that goes, let me read you some NFL MVPs. Now, you guys get your Googles and your jerseys out for this. I'm going to read some names.
Yeah.
John Brody was an MVP.
Who?
Jim Taylor.
Well, heard of him.
Norm Van Brocklin.
Yeah, heard of him.
Burt Jones.
Nope. Okay. Who?
Brian Sipe.
That sounds like a guy that lives down the street or something.
Ken Anderson.
I think I heard his.
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Larry Brown.
The basketball coach?
Alan Page.
Sounds like a realtor.
He's actually a Hall of Fame lineman.
Well, sounds like a realtor.
I think a lineman.
A lineman won the MVP?
Alan Page, you might be defensive tackle. Sorry.
He won the MVP?
Yes, defensive tackle.
Wow,
MVP.
what year was this? 1914?
72.
Close enough.
No. Yeah. No, who
Think about it. I don't even think J.J. Watts won it.
No.
He's came close.
When's the last time a defensive player
Alan
won
Page,
MVP?
defensive tackle for the Vikings. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Larry Brown
Probably,
was a running back for the Washington Redskins.
Hunter, where you at?
So the best running back.
Some people don't care.
Hunter, who's the best running back in Redskins history?
Clinton Portis.
Who's going to say Larry Brown was the MVP? You can't say that. According to Panther fans, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Larry Brown, way better than Clinton Portis.
Larry Brown. Larry.
Doesn't he sound like
Larry?
How about the immortal Rich Gannon?
Oh,
the MVP?
side armor. Yeah, boy.
You suddenly add Jerry Rice to your team, and all of a sudden you start completing 65% of your passes on slants.
Magic.
Oh, this is fun. Some of these cats that won MVPs are funny. Some of y'all don't like Matt Ryan at all.
Matt Ryan's stats, like over his whole career,
I think he's
have
pretty
fantastic.
decent fella. Mark Mosley, there's another Redskins MVP.
Yeah.
Redskins got a lot of. Listen to all these. I think they might have more MVPs than Super Bowls. It's close.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Theismann won one. Mark Mosley, the place kicker.
What?
1982. Nobody ever say anything to me about Cam Newton winning MVP. The place kicker won it.
There's no way.
Terry's looking at the list.
I am.
1982.
Terry, do you remember this?
Was that the strike year?
I guarantee it was.
The place kicker for the Washington Redskins.
No, 92 was the strike year.
Mark Mosley was the NFL MVP.
got
So that's your comeback, Carson.
Boy.
Anytime anybody says Cam Newton won MVP, well, so did the kicker in 1982. So
yeah,
for the Redskins.
Yeah,
that's just fun. That's just fun.
Yeah.
But you need a top. My point of the whole thing, you can win a Super Bowl with a top 15 to 20 quarterback. You need a top 5. You don't have to have a top 5. You better have a good defense. Cam's in the 10 to 20 range, where your defense better keep the other team under 25.
And their best, the 15 in 1 year, they had a great defense, and you know,
the number 1 running game.
Well, that's and not only the fact that it was the number 1 running game, but I mean, normally NFL offenses are 70-30 passing to rushing. That year they were 50-50.
Yeah.
50 rushing, 50 passing.
Here's my deal in this whole situation, and we know who sent this, but
Shannon, he talk about it Wednesday.
My whole deal with this is this: when you are doing your Super Bowl show afterwards, and the other team tells you that, hey, he was going to have to beat us, and we made sure it was going to be him.
He didn't
not
even
anybody
dive
else.
on the ball.
Here's the problem with that.
Fumble.
They would have never said that to a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady or somebody like that.
Because they know he would beat them.
This is your MVP, and that defense said, we're going to make that MVP beat us.
Is that weird?
Yeah, think of that.
Who says, yeah, we're going to... Instead
You're
of
MVP of the league.
That's why the MVP isn't the actual MVP. The MVP is the quote unquote best player on the best team. I don't even know if Cam's not even the best player on the Panthers.
If you want to take it, because think about it, people say all the time for NBA, LeBron James could win MVP every year.
He could.
So I mean, if you want to say that, could Tom Brady win MVP every year?
Just about.
Think about it. As good as New England is,
think about
at the consistent of play that he always plays at,
it's like
Tom Brady
Peyton
can win it
Manning.
every year.
Peyton Manning could have won it every year, and it showed that 1 year where he was out for all 16 games, and they were awful. That's an MVP, is who makes you a title contender, and if they're gone, you're trash. That's an MVP.
And then I'll just throw this out there because I said it earlier. Colin Cowherd said it, and I worship about what ground he walks on when he says stuff like this. He is highly
shameless.
He criticizes Cam, but he understands that he is an athletic talent. But
Yeah,
quarterback
no
wise,
problem
he said take away Cam's best year, take away Cam's worst year, and just show his statistics, he's below average, if not close to average as a quarterback.
Yep.
I think you said he's like
Andy
Andy Dalton.
I'll bring it in next week. I could read you
Blake Bortles.
I could read you Andy Dalton, Blake Bortles, and Cam's stats, and you would not be able to differentiate between
take
the
the
three.
face off of it.
All the passing numbers are the same. Everything is pretty much exactly the same, and so
really, Andy Dalton's really been the only one with a great receiver,
right?
AJ Green,
and you can't and be fair to Cam, you can't take away the running game. He's a big runner who's really hard to stop.
He is the if not the top athlete in the league.
I have no problem saying we have never seen a quarterback like Cam Newton, but that is safe to say that that doesn't mean he's the greatest thing ever.
Again, I want to look at you and say, but then again, I'm not going to quite say he's a quarterback. He's just this is an athlete we haven't seen.
He's an athlete who plays quarterback, not a quarterback who's athletic.
Yeah,
he's Tim Tebow, I think, and without the Jesus. So,
well, not the outward Jesus,
the outwardness. But I think the same skill set's fine. The same. Tebow won a playoff game. Okay,
yeah, he did.
So you can't
he beat the Steelers.
You can't play quarterback and you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I will say this: Cam Newton did go to a Super Bowl only to get beat by the better defense.
The not jumping on the fumble thing. I'll have real quick to end the show. Last flashback. My senior year, we were playing a team, and I threw a pitch to a running back. He was a freshman. He was really fast, awesome athlete. He fumbled the pitch, and he just looked at the ball when it hit the ground. And it looks the exact reaction that Cam had to jump away that ball like it was on fire was the same thing that freshman did.
Yeah.
And when I saw Cam do that, I just had flashbacks like, oh my gosh, the MVP who's 6'6", 200-something pounds
in the Super Bowl.
Not my freshman 125-pound scat back in the Super Bowl did not jump on that fumble. And that was just weird to me. And so that anyway. All right, real quick, gotta go. Atlanta Braves, first place, tied, Carson.
Nick Markakis leading the NL in doubles. Freddie Freeman should win the MVP.
Chop on.
We had Hunter here today, and he didn't talk about his Braves. 63-50. Phillies are 64-51.
Hey, it was a good win.
Games is the same percentage-wise.
Yeah,
you guys are up by 0-0-1.
I'll take it
any day.
Phillies.
This is the year. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not.
Cardinals third in the Central.
Ahead.
Steve Robay is in the house. It's time to send it out to Calvin and the gang today. They're going to have a good old day out there and go see them. Steve's got that. Real quick, got to check on my Cardinals. Are 3.5 out of the wild card. Terry making a run.
Beat the Royals last night.
By the way, speaking of which, stomp the Royals. Matt Carpenter's been the hottest hitter in baseball. If you're not paying attention, folks. National League in the past, I think 2 months, he's first in every single category.
Had that 5-for-5 3-home run game. I mean,
yeah, he's been on fire. He's been hitting well. All right, Steve, we're done. Sorry, went a little late. JP, let's take it out and get on out of here. Thanks, guys. Terry for coming in. And Carson doing the game last night. You guys did awesome. Football Friday night begins Wednesday. So football Friday night begins Wednesday this year. Wednesday, August 15th, 5:30 to 7. Pregame show of Terry, Carson, and Shannon and the gang. And then at 7 o'clock, Shelby and Freedom. Hunter Yancey, thanks for coming back. Good to have you in the house, boss. Fun to have you. And we'll see you guys next week. See you Wednesday. JP and Steve Robe, everybody else, goodbye and good week. We'll see you guys next week.
Quitting time. Who says it's quitting time? I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Terra. Quitting time. Quitting time.
Till the day I die, though you're gone, I still cry. I love you forever. The memory will always remain in my heart. I know I'm gonna miss you, baby. I'm gonna miss you.
You're now a member of the Charlie Brown Beach Patrol. Guard this spot carefully. We'll be right back.
What is there about summer love? More songs have been written on the subject, and more films have been made on the subject than on just about any subject in the world. Oh, sure, some summer loves last the length of the vacation, but still others grow into lifelong commitments. If this is to be your special summer of love, you owe it to yourself and to your future to visit Hayes Jewelers in Lexington. At Hayes Jewelers, they've been celebrating summer love since 1939. And Bruce Hayes and his staff are experts at matching people, budgets, diamonds, and dreams. When we say Bruce Hayes is the king of diamonds, that's a statement that no one else in the world can make. What is there about summer love? Warm days, soft, sultry nights, and memories to warm 1,000 Decembers. If this is your special summer, come to Hayes Jewelers on Highway 8 North at Business 85 in Lexington. Remember, a gift lasts a season, but a Hayes Jewelers diamond is forever.
Cherryville, you do have a heating and air conditioning company that will keep you comfortable in all kinds of weather. It's All American Heating and Cooling. With over 40 years of experience, Joe Aker and his technicians at All American Heating and Cooling does residential and commercial, featuring Comfort Maker, heat pumps, air conditioning, and heating units. And they service all lines. Just call 704-734-0819 for All American Heating and Cooling, serving Cherryville and throughout Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties. That's All American Heating and Cooling. Floor covering and picking out the right kind of floor for the job is an art. Since 1985, Walter Norval Carpet Company in Shelby has been serving this area with name brand carpet and floor covering, tile, laminate, hardwoods, and more. With name brands like Shaw, Armstrong, Mohawk, and more. Call for your free in-home estimate today at 704-482-5109 or drop by their showroom at 1162 East Marion Street in Shelby. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's Walter Norval Carpet Company of Shelby.
And
you could be the next satisfied customer at S&R Auto Sales in Shelby. Come in now and check out the huge selection of late model, pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, and more. Low down payment, you could be riding today. Come in for all the details, and chances are you'll be the next satisfied customer from S&R Auto Sales, 417 South Post Road in Shelby, online at srautosales.com. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturday. That's S&R Auto Sales.
And good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us right here on The Boss. We'll be right back with Charlie Brown and On the Beach. But right now, I've got Calvin. And let me just ask him who his cast of characters are this morning. Good morning, Calvin. How are you? Glad to have you with us right here on The Boss.
It's me. It's Ernest T, Steve.
Hey,
Ron.
Yeah, we got Cap Ron here today.
Hey, Cap.
Yeah, we're at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Steve, how much money can we save today? How much? How much? All right. Yeah, we can save thousands of dollars here today if I don't trip over my own feet here. Come on out and see us today. Today's a special day. Not only do we have hot dogs, but Captain Ron,
we have Dairy Queen Blizzards.
Blizzards. That's
Blizzards.
Right.
I was trying to think of a good way to lead that in, but
now they're not here right now, but they'll be here about 11 o'clock.
They're supposed to be.
Supposed to be. Yep. You can select from Oreo Blizzards, M&M Blizzards, and
peanut butter
Blizzards. All right. That started around 11 o'clock here this morning. We already got the hot dogs, so if you want a Dairy Queen hot dog, chips, and a drink, come on by and see us. And register to win. Captain Ron, what are we giving away today?
Oh, man, we're giving away 2 free nights lodging at any Red Roof Inn in the United States, the continental United States.
All right.
We're giving away 3 rounds of golf at Deerbrook Golf Course.
That's card and green fee.
Really?
Yes.
Man,
that's a good one.
Really good.
That's card and green fee.
We're giving away 2 tickets to the American Legion World Series, which starts next Thursday on the 16th.
All right. That's correct.
And we're giving away those world famous Boss T-shirts.
Exactly. So come on out and register. We'll give those away around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And check out the great deals. They are the Piedmont's SUV headquarters.
Well, they are.
Now, here's a big old 2017 Toyota 4Runner. $35,988. That's a bigger one right there now.
Yeah, that's right, and that's my favorite color too, red.
Red, that's it. 2016 Honda CR-V, $27,688. They've got a 2010 Honda CR-V XL EXL for only $13,994, and another 2015 Honda CR-V, $17,988. Over 50 SUVs on the lot. That's a lot of them.